Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Handicappers Report. Once again, alongside Seth on the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course on a Chamber of Commerce Sunday morning.
I think you nailed it right as I was driving in today. The weather sounds great, but she said a little warm, humidity's warmer than yesterday. Humidity's going to be a little low, but you kind of alluded to it or mentioned it yesterday. Like horse players with their 3 horses on the lead in the backstretch stop the race. You mentioned it about this time of the day, on a day like this. Stop the day!
Yeah, it's one of the races right now.
It is gorgeous here right now.
This is, I mean, it's crisp weather. I mean, kind of the stuff we expect to almost feel at the end of the meet, but it's gorgeous out there. People walking around and enjoying as we get closer and closer to that magical August 1st calendar for us. And, terrific day of racing yesterday. As I predicted, the 3-year-old pitcher, in my opinion, got less clear.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised at all by this group.
I tossed that yesterday and said, if Go Rocket Ride wins, maybe the picture becomes less clear.
Yeah,
that's how it worked. That's how it worked out.
Dwight Smith and the Derby winner runs second. Prepping for the Travers, I guess, in a big race. But the Coastal Club American Oaks on site here, Wet Paint, who was second choice in the wagering. Scores. I thought
and you said second run. I think that's just what you got.
I think so. Thank you very much. I think that is one of those rare things. Not only do you win, you kind of went the way you thought.
Yeah.
And I thought, who was your Philly scratch basically right as we got off the air yesterday? Obviously, it's the best things for the Philly and Tom Amos going forward. But Wet Paint, nice effort, wins the Grade 1 race. And
I congratulated you on another nice winner. Yes, another nice $20 winner. But I said, man, you lucked out on that one. Race number 8, Taking Candy, because coming under the wire, I was convinced the other horse had gotten up by about that much, and in fact, to the point where I watched the race and then walked away from a monitor, and I'd written down the numbers, and I was talking with some folks, and I hit that photo I hit, and I said, yeah, that was close. And the more we talked, I realized he was talking about, no, that's the second place horse. He said, no, that horse won the photo. And I said, oh, my, watching live. You said I didn't watch the replay. You said the replay came a little clearer.
The replay, I thought I had gotten beat live. And on the replay, the first time I turned to a friend of mine, I said, this is one of those moments where the horse's shoulders and everything is past me, but he's up, and Jose Lozano is down. So Julian Leperoux, and our friend Craig Mikowski from, Timeform, right? Timeform, who we love. Probably the only gentleman that bangs the drum louder about timing of races than me, and I think he called out the caress stakes. There's a surprise. I give great credit because, for me, when the rails are up, there's no chance they get it right. Which apparently isn't a big thing because it's been going on for a while, but it almost felt they would come out to good. Wet Paint was the second choice and won the thing, but I think you should get extra credit when the horse you get out is the highest price neutral of the day.
Oh,
almost
$27. Yeah, 27
yeah.
and change. Yeah, that was the biggest price.
I
was thinking, Friday was a crazy day for you. I was thinking you got to jump into some of the contests. Your Friday would have won, I'm sure.
This is
serious.
What the bride said years ago, Seth. She goes, when you have your day, she goes, you will win. She's like, you could probably win like 3 a year, but it would be your day. She goes, you would definitely win. What do you call them? Pick and pray?
Yeah.
She goes, you would win pick and pray. There'd be 3 days a year. You would just kill people. And they'd be like, what the heck? And she's right, but Saturdays a lot of them are on Saturdays, and it's a rough day for me. But also the other thing that
Well, pick and play though. You can put in entries at the beginning of the day and check out.
oh yeah, but some of them gotta be on site, right? You do those.
Oh yeah.
They
Most stuff
not digital
online. Even some of the live places allow you to check in
now.
online.
Here's what interests me greatly. So yesterday, so let's just do some of the math for the good folks out here. 7 morning line favorites won. 6 betting favorites won. Now it should be noted that Paddington was not technically the favorite. They were the same price, but he technically, by dollars and cents, he has to be somebody else.
Okay, I'm being screamed at in my ear. We're going to a break now, so why don't we go to a break
going
now?
to a break.
We'll come back in a moment.
Excellent. I thought the international symbol was just step out and Barbie used to go like this.
I heard you.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna get to the handicappers right away. But one thing I want to say about the early pick
Well,
five.
first, just explain, we had some technical difficulties
Yes,
there.
yeah,
So we had to iron out a little bit. And I got a couple of texts from people that there was a sound issue. So it was notable. And
all right,
hopefully now we've got it fixed. Fingers crossed.
More talented people than me have fixed it, so that's good. So the early pick five comes back 262. Winning Connection is the only non-favorite if you count Paddington as co-favorite. Pays $13. Husband Material, that was the fourth race. Husband Material finished off the board as the 8-5 favorite with IRAD. And because it was the fourth race, I would love to know what, with Husband Material, that pick five was going to pay. Because I'm thinking, I don't know, does it cut it in half, in a quarter? I mean, what is a quarter? Taking a $13 winner versus an IRAD favorite. I would love to know what the early pick five was if race 4 had been won by Husband Material. I think that's important stuff. Like if you're trying to project out, how does this go? And then the late one that had the $27 winner and $23 winner only paid like 3.5 times the price of the favorites. That's just...
Yeah, and you could probably figure out what you were trying to, if you watched long enough and came up with similar situations in the last leg when you can see because I think it would probably be similar regardless of what leg you're looking at.
Which leg it was in. Yeah. You could circle back. But I was just like, not only that, but the IRAD factor, you're like, that's even worse than 8-5. So, just another day, beautiful Sunday up here. Let
me just hit on quickly.
Okay.
Today, show pool.
We got the play of the day too.
Play of the day. Yeah. Show pool team's been selected. I will post
luck.
The picks on the website a little bit later. I think the team gets alerted to the picks as well. But syndicate, there'll be a syndicate next Saturday. Entries open up if you want to jump into the syndicate and play along next week. That opens today right around noontime and down at the Clubhouse Racebook. It's a double promo day with the match bet and the exact board, 711 Central Avenue in Albany.
And speaking of the play of the day, we thank the good people at DePaula for their sponsorship. Steve Bick with an on-the-road edition.
When you think trucks, think DePaula. Then come join the family for value. Just visit, call, or click.
This week's Chevy Silverado is just $549 a month with zero due at inception. Yes, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Good morning, everybody. Coming to you from the Jersey Shore, replete with my 2005 Monmouth Breeders' Cup cap, the best beach cap ever. It's the DePaula play of the day, and Sunday's card offering not that many inspired ideas. However, in the third, the state-bred allowance turf sprint, 7-year-old mare, it's a keeper, like the cap. It's a keeper. It's a keeper for Tom Albertrani. Is on a 2-race win scheme. Granted, it's against $25,000 and $32,000 claiming foes, open claiming foes, but she is in super form. And Junior Alvarado aboard, perfect for a stalk and go kind of a trip. She's fifth choice at 6-1. That's a really attractive price, and she's absolutely as good as anybody in here in a kind of a typical state-bred scramble. Usually I like state-breds long on the turf. This is a 5.5 sprint, and it's a keeper at 6-1. The DePaula play of the day. Best of luck, everybody.
When you think trucks, think DePaula.
The all-new 2024 Chevy Trax is here. Bigger, roomier, seats 5, and lots of technology. And just $419 a month, zero down.
So come join the family and think DePaula for all your automotive needs.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Turning our attention to Saratoga now as we wrap up.
I do want to note,
Steve
Beck had the cream-colored hat. Must have been the Haskell giveaway. And every year, so I'm going to have to go back and check Racing Kreskin. Our friend Gene Kirshner, at the end of the year, every year, makes predictions, and the hat color is always in there. So I'll have to see.
You know what Gene is, right?
With cream. No.
Canterbury.
Oh, that's right. He said he was going out. That's right. They're going out for a ball game and a little.
Yeah, they went to Target Field, which is beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Yesterday was the boys with noted winning for Todd Pletcher at 350. Time for the Phillies. 2-year-old Phillies maiden special weights, a mile and a 16th on the turf. We have plenty of also eligibles, and we have a return to the name Sintra, who won up here about 40 years ago. Graded Stakes Company.
I have it 7, 2, 6, and 5, and I do think Sintra is playable. That one just missed my mix, but I went with a pellet on top. Firster from Todd Pletcher, a 2-year-old up here at Saratoga from Todd Pletcher, as you say. We saw it in the first yesterday, but there's some sibling advocating, second in debut, then ripped off 3 wins. Another sibling, a la carte, won in the second start of the career. By Constitution, a good win early sire, paid $250,000. I route Ortiz on board. I think there are plenty of check marks to lean on that one, but hard to justify from Chad Brown. By Justify, Chad Brown with the first-time starters in similar situations over the past few years up here at Saratoga is 7 for 35 with Flavian Prat on 6 of those, 1, 2. So again, there are things to like there. And then Makia in the third spot, a daughter of Street Sense from Christophe Clement in debut. Nice little workout on the 6th of July. Fun, interesting race that I think you can point at a couple others and maybe have similar confidence. But I'm 7, 2, 6, and 5.
10 in the main body. Only 2 of them have run once. So I'm 4, 3, 9. We have much of the board covered in here. I just took Catherine Thomas at Offspring American Pharaoh, who, we think of him clearly for the Triple Crown, but as a turf stallion, 2 thumbs up. Javier Castellano gets the mount for the first or for Barclay Tag. Right next door, Looks First, one of the horse who has run, goes out for David Donk. I like the debut. Beaten at even money, non-favorite, but now gets to the turf. Hard spun on the bottom side. That's turf for me. And for third, number 9, Snow Dance. Kevin Rice didn't get us home yesterday. We led to about the 3/16 poll, then packed it in 4, 3, 9. In one of Andy Byers, I see Sintra, one of Andy Byers' books had one of the best lines ever. He goes, the mankind's 2 worst moments of the 20th century, the Vietnam War and Keith Allen's ride on Sintra and the Black-Eyed Susan.
That is
as good as it gets. Andy Byer.
That's pretty good. Second race up this afternoon. Allowance non-winners are one other than with that bonus for the New York Breds, just under $150,000 up for grabs. They're going a mile out of the chute.
1, 2, 4 for me in this popular mile distance. I took I had this happen a couple times yesterday, Seth, and with the way I handicap, I only had to be right one time. And this is a similar situation. You have the 2, the 3, the 4, and the 5. They're the same price. I mean, within a point, right? It's right there. And I think my runner, Letty from the rail, has to, go a little bit better. He's run numbers that compete here recently. And I'm 8-1 with Javier Castellano. I think I can get good position going into the full turn. And I like my chances at a big price here because it was hard for me to, you're okay. So you're 5, 3, 2. It was hard for me to the other 4. So I'll take Slip Mahoney coming out of the Long Branch. They're stating that 5 days after the Long Branch, they gelded this runner. And then for third, making the third career start, number 4 mounts up. But 1, 2, 4 for me in the second.
5, 3, 2, and 4 for me. The Asmussen runner, Top Secret. I thought after 2 starts this year, nice improvement start 1 to start 2, and that last looked like the proverbial light bulb moment. Perhaps the maiden breaker with a solid number. If we come back to that, or maybe move forward in the 4th career start, I like Top Secret. Set Sail hasn't been seen in quite a while, well over a year. But boy, has tossed some numbers that if this horse comes back ready to run, watch out. He's clearly going to be a player. The last workout seems to indicate the horse is on his toes, so I have no argument there. And Slip Mahoney, that again, another clever name from Al Gold and Gold Square. So this one, stepping out of Stakes Company in the last 3 starts, I think could be well suited in here, albeit for a stakes quality purse. That noted, there aren't any New York Breds in here. So again, essentially, the purse still $115,000. So they're racing for the bucks in the second. 5, 3, 2, and 4.
Just a quick thing on that. How come the 115 and the 149 doesn't equal with the 26? Where's the other 8,000?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know.
Because they want to throw it my way, I'll be happy to take it. But I noticed that the other day that it doesn't add up.
Yeah, that's a good question. I'll
All right, we
ask.
got to keep
I'll
it
ask.
tight today. On to the third, State Bred Phillies optionals 45, 2X going 5.5 on the turf.
4, 7, 3, and 2. Number 4, it's a keeper. I'll save that for a second because not only Steve Bick play of the day, but it's my dark horse play of the day. So I'll save that for just a moment. We'll get to that shortly. But second spot, Get the Candy, Mike Maker trainee, coming in out of a steak. I love the chicken fried steak down at Lone Star. Ran fourth in there. I think the horse has some talent. Horse typically shows some early speed. Didn't down at Lone Star, but I won't be surprised if that's the game plan from the outside today. And then Palace Gossip on the class move. Palace Gossip, I think, has the potential to be dangerous in here because the last time this horse was seen at this level was a winner. So for me, 4, 7, 3, and 2.
And we'll get a jockey change throughout the day. Remember, these entries were taken before the incident in Friday's opener. I'm 154. Linda Rice has just been a juggernaut. Winning at a very rare, doing what is very rarely done, which is winning at a consistent high clip, not highs and lows, but basically at 25% consistently. If we're on the inside, I think being there, I'm not headed for the lead, I believe. So I think whomever is named aboard will get a chance to sit a good trip, hopefully not too crowded, down inside along the rail. So I have how'd you make your money? Well, we'll be able to figure it out if we win at $14. Social World making the first start of the year for Johnny V. On the outside, has good early speed, stuck in this condition for a while. And for third, it's a keeper. So 154 in the third as we head towards the dark horse play of the day.
And as I said just moments ago, we'll see if Mr. Bick and I with the DePaula play of the day and the dark horse play of the day can overlap. Dark horse play of the day brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile. Enjoy a visit down there. Dark horse play of the day yesterday looked great at the top of the stretch and then just faded a little bit. But we'll see if we can get back on board. I thought the 6-1, I have a series of question marks written there. But we'll see. Again, we talk about David Aragona. He's so good. But I thought off the buyers, this horse was a real player in here. And so I looked at the 6-1, and I thought, we'll jump in. Now, that said, the last 3 races were against Claiming Company, and so maybe goes against a little bit stiffer today. That's going to be the question mark to answer. But, boy, off the last 3 starts, 3 improving numbers, the last 2 nice wins, I think this horse comes in very good form. In 4 career starts at Saratoga, does have a win. But if you look down the PPs, I think the horse is better now. And I think the horse is better now in a fashion that the horse is just maybe moving up on the form cycle as well. So I'll tilt in that direction. Hope that morning line price holds up. Dark horse play of the day for Sunday afternoon. Race number 3, horse number 4. It's a keeper.
We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
For 4 generations and looking forward to a 5th, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued their 99-year tradition of delighting their faithful following with the finest authentic Italian recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Some things have changed in the last 99 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now. Welcome back to the Handicappers Report on this Saturday morning. This is one of those races that up here at Saratoga, you think, I don't know whether I'm jumping in betting-wise, but I'm happy I'm here to see it. The fourth race this afternoon, the Shoe V Grade 2 event, couple $100,000 up for grabs. And again, it's only a field of 4 in here, but I've been a fan of Clairiere for a long time, and she just in the last two, the Apple Blossom and the Phipps, phenomenal. But it's the return of Ness, last year's 3-year-old champion. So field of 4, but a lot of fun. Race number 4 at the Shoe V.
I know we got to keep it tight, but this is an example I talk about. Don't let the North Graded Stakes Committee tell you what. This is a grade 1. It just doesn't matter what they say. You have the 2 champs meeting. And this is why I would be a heckler at the sales when they come back later and about, accomplish. I'd be interested in head-to-head here. I don't think there's a lot to say in this race. I was right about Clairiere almost her whole career. I remember when she started her 4-year-old campaign, people were thinking, well, this will be it. It took a while, but I think she has arrived. Her effort beating me in search results in the last one really kind of, that's a backhanded half-length victory. I like Clairiere over.
And that was huge, but I think the Apple Blossom victory was even bigger, given the pace scenario or the small field and the pace. Yeah. Just two really
4-2-3 in the grade 1 Shoe V.
Exactly the same spot as I alluded to. I'm a big fan of Clairiere. Really looking forward to the race. 4, 2, and 1 for me.
And there wouldn't be a lot to say. It's the big 2 in there. So for fifth race, 4-year-olds up, claimers 12-5, going 6.5.
6, 4, 7, and 2. I'm going to put Spankhurst on top. Norm Cassie trainee comes in off a couple of starter allowance races, so I thought the class move was certainly very notable, third off the claim. But they were back at the fairgrounds February and March, so the return, the fitness level is going to be the question mark. When you look at the recent workouts, they seem to indicate we'll get a horse that's ready to run, but that is a question mark. Coming off the claim, Al Cools for Bruce Levine. Nice close-up second place finish down at Belmont last time at the 10 level. Moves up to 12-5, but you go down the page. This horse has been competitive against better, so I think this could be a clever claim. And then 3-2 Zone. Comes off a voided claim. You're always a little leery there what the situation might be, but I think overall, you look down the page, this horse, if ready to roll, is going to be a good fit with this bunch. 6, 4, 7, and 2.
I thought it was wide open. My recommendation is always take a longer price horse. I took a flyer on the 3-2 Zone in here. One of the things I'd like them to see with the voided claims, if it's possible, whether it's clerical or something else. I wish they would put,
and it clearly is possible. And I would say these days with
time races.
Well, these days with websites, you can put all that information. Back in the day, if you wanted to find out information, you had to look up some chalkboard on the track to find. But these days, the technology and
I will say, if you believe it, they got much better with the gelding. They now tell you the date they were gelding. So I'm starting to think that there's a record someplace. They're
supposed to be.
Hope it's not just somebody's word.
6 race this afternoon, maiden specials, going 3/4 of a mile. And I wrote at the top of the page, this is a kind of a wide open race to me. What do you think in the 6th?
Well, congratulations to David Aragona, because we got the first ones going 3/4, which I talked about 2 days ago. And he knew that Valentine Candy in a field that was loaded. He made it in the morning line favorite and got home. I am 2-6-10. Mystical Chant for Steve Asmussen. Now, remember, I have to save these picks in before noon. So now I need 2 in a row for Steve. And then Love to Eat, another runner with some experience, making the second career choice for an offspring of Matoli. And then on the outside of the main body, number 10, Camera for Todd Pletcher, a curling runner. David got it right yesterday. Let's see how he does today. But I love when they start going 3/4 at least.
Yeah, Camera's scary. I mean,
look at that.
I may totally
Curling
kick myself. I left
there.
it off. It's $1 million. But as I said, I thought it was kind of a wide open race. We'll see. I mean, Camera, you look up the board and the horse just winds up 3 or 4 to 5. It's probably the word is out.
Right, the word is out.
Yeah, but I went 6, 9, 8, and 2. I put Love to Eat on top because Matoli to me has become intriguing. 16 first-time starters, only a couple of winners, but 3 seconds and 4 thirds. So I think he's produced, and this is a second-time starter. But again, those debut numbers indicates some win early talent. And with this one, with some experience and a little bit of interesting breeding. Sam's Treasure by Munning, second-time starter. I thought intriguing that Wesley Ward debuted on the turf, now moves over to the dirt and Munning's a very good sire of win early types.
Yes.
And then Life's Joy, another Matoli runner coming out for Bill Mott that I think could be intriguing. I put Mystical Chant in the 4th spot, but again, I might totally kick myself on camera. We'll see. But in the 6, 9, 8, 2.
For about 2 hours, I thought Matoli was horse of the year until Bricks and Mortar won. Then I knew we were going to lose that. Take a quick break. Come right back.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. It's in front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Paul Brown. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish to the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race 7, right outside the front window here. 7 furlong starter allowance.
6, 2, 5, and 1. Lord Captain on top, off the claim for Linda Rice at 6 to 1. I'll take that the way she's going right now. And this one comes in with a 4-race win streak. So in good form. Claim down at Churchill, but her Kentucky claims have also been doing very well. So I'll tilt in that direction. Colonel Bowman is the 6 to 5 morning line favorite for David Jacobson, who comes in having won 6 of the last 7. So is in also very good form right now and makes a lot of sense. Certainly on the numbers has the edge over my top pick. And I think on the numbers is going to take that 6 to 5 action and more, particularly with Irod Ortiz on board, and clearly the one to beat on the numbers. And then Caramel Chip in the 3rd spot. This one has won 4 of the last 5, a close-up second last time, going a mile and a 16th, probably a little better suited to the 7 today. 6, 2, 5, and 1.
I think Irad's won, 9 in 2 days? 4
yesterday.
5 yesterday. The race goes to Colonel Bowman, who set a career best figure, buyer speed figure in the last race. Goes through him. I'm taking a shot with Caramel Chip in here. I got to, I have to have David Jacobson's runner take a little, I shouldn't say a little, a medium to significant comeback, because I don't think Caramel Chip could possibly improve enough to run shoulder to shoulder with him if he comes back. So I need a medium regression for Colonel Bowman's career best. I need Caramel Chip to go. And I should probably expect better than 3 to 1 odds, and I think I will get that. Then I have Colonel Bowman and Glory Road on the outside. Rudy off the claim from Linda Rice, 5 to 7.
8th race this afternoon. We're looking at plain vanilla $32,000 claimers. They're on the grass at 8.5 furlongs.
4, 8, 10 for me, and Tass is my top pick. First off, the $32,000 claim off of a sharp effort in the seasonal debut. For second, number 8, Lucky Peridot is Peter Walder's runner, making the second start since being down in South Florida at Gulfstream Park's Champions Meet in March. And for third, number 10, 4, 8, 10 in the 8th.
6, 4, 10, and 11 for me. Blue Times on top. The Danny Gargan runner has plenty of early speed. Luis Saez on board. I think the game plan will be to try to steal it on the front end, and I don't think that is out of the question. Tess in the 2nd spot, claimed last time off a good effort at Belmont in the seasonal debut. I think this horse has a very good opportunity to move forward with that fitness builder under the belt. And then I'm going to go out to number 10, Cafe Flora, Chad Brown runner, making the seasonal debut with Irod Ortiz on board. It's Chad and Peter Brandt. they're not typically playing the claiming game, so that had me shying away from this one a little bit. But this horse certainly did appreciate moving down in the claiming ranks last year. I would think probably unlikely to go back to the barn this afternoon, given they
The
snuck,
same barn.
Yeah, they snuck away, but the win at the end of the season, I'd be interested to see if we do get some shakes for that one in the 8, 6, 4, 10, and 11.
And we've caught up on time. Kudos to Dave Grenning, who is the only person that outworks my partner here. He has been putting up the info on these crazy shakes that we've been having with 12 or 17. I mean, and that's always, I mean, it's way out there stuff, but it's good.
And the
It's
guy,
good to know.
the Equibase guys shout them out, and Dave picks up on that. And so I'm going to have Brian and Heath in here at some point, the 2 Equibase chart callers. We haven't had them in a few years, so I'm going to see if I can get them over here
That would be
some
terrific.
morning to kind of fill in, because they do a great job as well.
Take our final break. When we come back, the late Daily Double.
For 4 generations and looking forward to a 5th, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued their 99-year tradition of delighting their faithful following with the finest authentic Italian recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Some things have changed in the last 99 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Race number 9, State Breds. Optionals in for 45, 2X going 7/8. And it's funny how horizontal wagering has caught up in New York. And we always talk about how big the pick 6 used to be. Because in California, 20 years ago, they kicked out the big stakes races with short fields out of their pick 6.
Yeah.
And Naira has gotten there also, because this is where you would think the shoe V would be placed. But dollars rule.
Yeah. 2, 5, 7, and 3 for me. I'm going to put Big Engine on top, off the claim for Mike Maker and Mike Dubb. I think a best effort puts this one right in the thick of things. I think it's a competitive race, though. Majority partner 9-5 as the morning line favorite for Linda Rice is certainly logical, with plenty of early speed. And then our friends at Bonaventure, coming up at 10 o'clock, we'll have Dan Collins from Bonaventure on. I thought, what better time to have him on than on the morning one of his horses are running, and Ocean's Reserve on the big weekend a few weekends ago down at Belmont for Bonaventure comes in off the nice win. I think he's a player in here. They also have a little first-time starter coming up this coming Wednesday, so we'll talk about that at 10. But for me in the 9th, 2, 5, 7, and 3.
I'm 2, 7, 5. I mean, we saw Ocean's Reserve run second last year up here. Tries this condition for the first time after winning the 1X, but Big Engine is my top pick. I am 2, 7, and 5.
10th and final this afternoon, scheduled to go off at about 6:20. We're looking at State Bred Maiden 40 claimers on the female side of things, going 5.5.
I guess Sunday gets the 2-minute hiccup. They couldn't make 6:18 on Sunday. You got to give a little breather there. I told you I picked up the water jug, right? Friday? Yeah, we got it at the house and everything.
It seemed very popular. It wasn't attractive to me necessarily, but as I was walking around the grounds, people had them.
You know what they reminded me of are the size and stuff that many people that bring usually water to a laborer work site.
Oh, okay.
Like if
Yeah,
you're
yeah, yeah.
landscaping or something, this is what you take to get you through the day, and it's great in that regard. 654 for me. Taking a flyer to get out. Pat Reynolds here. Hopefully not a day late, $1 short. Third start of the year, which I like. A marked improvement in the second one. We've been exclusively a turf sprinter. I like the post position. Dylan Davis rode this horse for the first time in the last race. For second, Red Butterfly going out for Horatio de Paz. Second start of the year. We're going to get a jockey switch. Second time in for a tag. And 3 girls. Number 4 is my third pick, making the seasonal debut. They get Lasix as a 3-year-old. They run for a tag for the first time. They take blinkers off. So 654 in the week's finale.
I think it was yesterday you commented how much we overlapped. Today, not so much. So I have it 7, 12, 5, and 4. We underneath, and we have a couple of similar things. But
Right.
our top picks are
I think the last race
diverging
might have
today.
been the first time our top pick was the same.
Dance with Me, Babe, on top for me.
Try
Lightly
to tell I
raced.
have no chiclets.
Yeah. Yeah. 4 career starts, seems to be moving in the right direction. I ride Ortiz on board. I'll tilt in that direction. Gotham Gray gets the outside post position, may have a little strategic play there, being able to watch what unfolds on the inside. But off the latest effort, is clearly playable in here for Christophe Clement and Flavian Prat. Red Butterfly seasonal debut, I think, was promising and one to build on perhaps. 3 girls for, Bill Parcells, August Dawn, and George Weaver, I think could also be interesting in the first start of 2023. But for me, 7, 12, 5, and 4.
Wraps up week number 2 on a beautiful morning. It's this is the funny part, Seth. It's only been an hour, but I think it's fair to say it's clearly warmer now.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
I mean, it is amazing the difference between 9 and 10. And as I said the other day, I've worked a few 10 to 11s, and it can dramatically change. But at 9 o'clock, it was pristine if you're wearing a necktie and a sport coat. And it's beautiful now if you're like Dan, wearing shorts and a golf shirt, So it's basically just fashion oriented, but it's beautiful out. I mean, it's blue skies. I mean, it's a Sunday. If you're not interested in whether Brian Harmon can get the job done at the Open Championship, come on up. What's funny is this always used to be the giveaway day. Sundays was when they got off Saturdays in the early 80s, Sundays was the day, they put up 67,000 for the attendance and then make Saturday look weak. But one thing because we caught up like Roadrunner, I would wonder if you're writing a horse racing handicapping book, and obviously horizontal wagering would probably be, if you could get that data, what the pick 5 was, if they're required to be transparent and say what it would be with husband material. I think that's very interesting to see, because as Brian once said, he would say that horse might have been on 60% of the tickets.
Yeah.
You're just like, what does it cut it up from 262? And then on the other side, with the 2 horses that paid, one in the low 20s, one in the high 20s against, it only came back 3.5 times, really the plethora of 80% of favorites winning the first one. So
like I say, I think you can work that in the, work back from the last leg where you can see the will pays and kind of, if you get enough of a database to work with, you can kind of.
I think maybe you could, but then
I will say the last leg also is a little bit of a different animal because I think people protect themselves a little bit. Maybe
Brian told me that there is a strong psychology to the wagering. I don't subscribe to that either.
I think that's true.
But and
I will say I tend to play that way. I'll tend to go pick 4. I like doing 2, 3, 4, 4 maybe, or 2, 3, 3, 4, something like that. So I'm a little bit deeper in the last. Not always, but
Brian said it worked the other way with people. They didn't want to be dead in the first leg. I'd rather be dead in the first and move on with my day.
Yeah, I want to.
That's why I think at the end of the day, that's really my thing. Not only the fact that I've been successful with part wheel tries, it's like I don't want to linger around for 2.5 hours and get the bad news. I'd rather get it in 72 seconds or something and move on and start to move and groove.
Because I like to move on and then get to that last leg. Now I'm sitting in clover here. I got 4 shots. And then also you can maybe back yourself up a little bit. If you've used 4 and there are maybe 2 others that you think are interesting at 8 or 12 to 1, you can throw a couple of bucks on them just to have some, health insurance, as it were, if you want to. But
yeah, I mean, that's it. So you get to stay for Loose on the Lead on Sunday. Mr. Bick will not be in attendance. We have the Paul play of the day. Who are your guests?
I will tee it up. Yeah, Steve was down in Haskell this week for the radio show. He thought he was going to be back, but he texted me yesterday that the change of plans. So I will be here solo, but with a fun show. Mentioned it earlier. Dan Collins from Bonaventure Stables will come in. They have the runner today. They have the firster coming up on Wednesday. We'll talk about that and the partnership overall. Should be fun. Rich Migliori's coming over at 10:20. We'll get some of his thoughts on the meet so far. Yesterday, the Oaks, and maybe some thoughts on the Chuvie today and the matchup of Clariere and Nest. And then the bottom segment about 10:40. Going to be fun. I ran into him in the paddock yesterday. He is a local guy who about 10 years ago led or helped lead, was part of a potent team, Scotia Glenville, to a state basketball championship. Alex Sauceville, who graduated subsequently from St. Fisher's, then went to the racetrack industry program.
St. John Fisher?
St. John Fisher.
Okay.
Yeah, what did I say?
St. Fisher. I thought John. I'm like, is that not in Rochester?
Yeah, the other St. Yeah, good call there. St. John, yes. But then went on to the racetrack industry program at the University of Arizona. But now is with Godolphin Flying Start. So I wanted to get a little insight into traveling around the world and whatnot. So Alex Sauceville will join us.
Well, we know Arizona is the Wildcats, and I think St. John Fisher is the Cardinals. All right. He stays, I go. We're wrapping up week 2. It's a beautiful day up at the spa.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.